Hey guys, today we're doing section 8.2, which is arithmetic and geometric sequences. We kind of started these yesterday in section 8.1. So here's a little investigation, and it says a restaurant is discussing how many people they can fit at their tables, and one table seats 4 people. If they push 2 tables together, they can then seat 6 people. If 3 tables are joined, they can seat 8, and that pattern continues. So as we can see, this is going up by 2 people every time. So if we continue that trend, it says for every new table added, how many extra seats were created? So we get 2 new seats for every table added. So we are going to write a general formula to calculate the number of seats for those joined tables. So again, because it's arithmetic, we're adding every time. We're going to use that a sub n. And our initial amount we started with was 4. And then we were adding 2 times n in this particular case. But if we put in n, I'm going to just write it up there. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4 would be 6. So it's not quite n, so we have to go to the previous n, so n minus 1. So if I wanted at time 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, times 2 is 0, plus 4, and it gets me there. At time 2, with n being 2 tables, 2 minus 1 is 1, times 2 plus 4, we get 6. So then it says how many seats will be available when there's 20 tables. So that means n is 20. So a sub 20 is 4 plus 2 times 20 minus 1. So we do 19 times 2, which is 38, plus 4, which gets us 42 seats. So that's an example of our explicit formula for arithmetic. First term plus n minus 1 times d, where d represents that common difference. So here I can see the next 4 terms of this sequence. They're telling me it's arithmetic, which means I'm adding or subtracting every time. So I have to figure out what's the difference between these two. If you're ever struggling to find the difference for arithmetic, take 2 terms next to each other and subtract them. So like -2 minus -5. So that common difference is 3, going up by 3. So if I go up by 3 more, we get 4, plus 3, and plus 3. So for example 2, it tells us to find the 47th term in this one. I don't want to sit there and write out 47 terms. So thankfully we have this formula. If I want to find the 47th term, I know n is 47. I need to know the first term, -4. We're looking for the 47th term. And then I need to know what's the difference, the common difference. How much am I going up by every time? And on this one I can see that's 3. So go ahead and put that into your calculator. 46 times 3 plus -4, and we get 134. So then you're going to get some problems like this where they give you different pieces of information and we have to solve for other unknowns. So this time it says to find the first term. We're going to be finding a sub 1. But here they gave us the 19th term is 42, and our common difference is -2/3. We love fractions. So I know if I write this out, oops, you guys, I even switched pencils this time. A sub 19, A1, 19 minus 1 times d. So I know a sub 19 is 42. I don't know a sub 1, that's what I'm trying to find. 19 minus 1 is 18, and my common difference was -2/3. So 18 times -2/3, let's see, we get 18 divided by 3 is 6, times -2 is -12. Add 12 to both sides. And so we get that a sub 1 is 54. And then this time on example 4, it says we're going to find the number of terms. This means we need to find n. And they told me it's arithmetic, so I can pick out some information here. I know I have my first term. I know A1 is -8. I know my common difference is 4. And so now we need to figure out, now I also know my last term. I know A sub n is 36. I don't know what the n term is, but I do know what A sub n is. So I'm going to plug that in. A sub n equals A sub 1 plus, I don't know n, and I do know d. And so now we can solve for n. So first thing, add 8 to both sides. So 36 plus 8. So when we add 8 to both sides, we get 44 equals n minus 1 times 4. Divide by 4. We get n minus 1 equals 11. Add the 1 over. We get n equals 12. So now in example 5, 2 terms are given. We have number 6 and number 11, but we need to know the 15th term. So notice I don't have the first term. I don't have n. I do have an n. It's 15. I don't have an a sub n. I have a couple of unknowns here. So here's how we set this one up. I have the 11th term. So I'm going to write that sequence out, but I don't know the first term, but I know that was the 11th term. I also don't know what the common difference is, so I'm going to call that D. So I've got a couple of unknowns there. I also know the 6th term, so 4, and then 6 minus 1, and D. So since these are arithmetic, I know I can add and subtract these. So what I would do here is subtract these two equations and see if we can get one of these unknowns. 34 minus 4 is 30. If I subtract these two equations, those go away. Here I've got 10d and here I've got 5d. So 10d minus 5d equals 5d. So then if I divide both sides by 5, we get that d is 6. So now at least I have one less unknown. Now feel free to plug this back in up here, and let's see if we can find out what a sub 1 would be. So we get 4 equals a sub 1 plus 5 times 6. So 6 minus 1 was 5, and then the 6. So I have 30. I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. So I get that a sub 1 is negative 26. So now I can use that information to find a sub 15. So a sub 15 equals first term plus 15 minus 1, and my common difference was 6. We plug that all into our calculator and we get 58.